Had to give that a second try. Okay, just wanted to make sure that we are in the right spot and everything is going well. I'm going to give a minute for everybody to log in. If you could give me a comment or a thumbs up, let me know. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Let's see if this is the right one. Just wanted to make sure. Okay. Right. Is this the right one? Okay. All right. Okay. Let us get started. Okay. I don't know why this is not showing up, but let's see. All right. So I have pieces of, you know, the back part of what the DSP comes in. These are just really thick white cardstock. Okay. I have 2 of them, and what we're going to do is I'm going to be cutting these down. You can also use thick white cardstock, or if you have some of those that brown parts that come in some of the other pieces, you can do that too. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these to 6 inches across. So this is what I'm going to start with. Let's see, I'm trying to think which way this goes. And I'm going to cut it to 6 inches across. All right. I am not going to worry about the words that are on here. Okay, so that's fine. And I'm going to turn this and I'm going to cut it in. Actually, I think I can cut these 2 at a time. So I want to make it thick. So I'm going to cut it at 3 inches. And I want 3 of them. And another 3 inches. And another 3 inches. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to have a total of 6 of these together. The reason I have a total of 6 together is so that I can make them nice and thick that they can use as a base. So there are 1, 2, 3 pairs of 6 by 3. Okay. I have those cut, but now I need to make the ribs. Now I'm going to call these ribs right here. So I need to make these portions that those cross pieces are going to sit on. And I'm going to take a piece of 12 by 12 and I'm going to cut it at, I don't know, you can cut it at 1 inch or 1.5, but you need to make 4 of them. Okay. So this is 1.5. It is a little thick. It's, you know what, I could probably go down to 1 inch. So let's go down to 1 inch on that. So I need to make 4 of them. Okay. There we go. Now you may have already this cut. If not, just follow along. So I have 4 of those cut. Okay. Oh, we were supposed to do games and prizes. Oh, I'm going to have to do that after I do this. Okay. So I have 4 of them. 2 sets that are going to be placed together so that they become stronger. So I'm going to call these the ribs. Okay. And these pieces will be going on top, kind of like a little ladder. Just like that. So I'm not going to glue it down, but I wanted to show you how it goes together. Okay. So what we are going to do is we are going to be doing a little bit of gluing. Now we want our ribbon is going to sit in between the 2 pieces. And I'm going to actually grab a piece of ribbon. from here. This is from the ribbon share, so I'm just going to use that. I don't need the whole ribbon, but what I'm going to do is I am going to glue it or tape it down. Now you want to make sure it is well taped. It really has to be well taped down. Because what's going to happen is if you hang it, it might slip out. So I'm actually going to tape this in. Oops. Let's get that. I don't have any like regular tape, so I got to use what I got here. So I'm going to tape that down. Add a little bit more tape. I want to make sure it does not slip out. And that's very important. You don't want it to slip out. So I'm going to tape that on. Okay, and I'm going to do it for the other side. So I think, I don't know, 6, 8 inches of ribbon should do it. Just cut right there. And I'm going to tape it on to the other piece. Okay. And I'm just using this to kind of like press down my tape. That's all. Okay. Scotch tape will work well. I'm just using painter's tape because that's what I have on hand right now. Again, tape. Use the back part. I just want to make sure it's well pressed in there. Okay. All right. Okay, we got it all. It's stuck in there. There we go. Give me a thumbs up if you are ready to move on. Like, have you got it taped down? Okay. What I want to do is I'm going to glue the 2 pieces of the ribs on top. So it needs to kind of go on top and cover that so that the ribbon is in between. And I'm actually going to use tear-in tape. And I'm going to use a lot of tear-in tape. So just giving you a heads up. I want to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. I'm going to use a lot of tear-in tape. I'm going to use it on both sides. Okay. I like the tear-in tape because it is a little, it's strong like the Seal Plus, I find. Okay. Again, I'm going to rub it down. Make sure it's well connected. You probably don't have to do this, I don't know. And I'm going to peel it off. Peel off the tear-in tape. Apparently I don't have nails, so I got to use this. Now, if your tear-in tape has gone a little further, then say it's gone over, just bend it back a little bit. Gonna peel this off and all the way down. Oops. Okay. I'm gonna put the other piece on top, the other rib piece that is exactly the same. Gonna follow it along. Just take your time putting it together, okay? Now that is well connected, okay? Now I'm going to do that for the second rib there, okay? Again with the tear-in tape. add it to each side and bring it all the way down to the bottom. Again, I'm going to use 2 pieces. Make sure it's well stuck on there, bringing it all the way down to the bottom. Okay. Lift off the tear and tape. There we go. Get the other piece and sandwich it in. Okay, there we go. There we go. Okay. There we go. So now we got the 2 pieces and the ribbons kind of in between there. All right. All right. Hopefully you got that done. Okay. I don't see any comments, so I take it we are all good then. Okay. What I want to do next is I need to put these 2 pieces, I need to glue them together. I need to make them nice and strong. So I'm just going to glue these together and pop them on here like this. Okay. I'm going to do that for each one. Doesn't matter that there's words on there. It's okay because that will be covered. Okay, 1, 2, and there's the last one. Okay, so we have those 3 now placed together. Okay, what I want to do now is I'm going to add, before I add, like glue these down, I don't want to leave these kind of white. I'm going to get some cardstock or some DSP, and I am just going to add a little bit on there. Now, if I add that one, let's see what the color would be. Well, it's not too bad. I think I could get away with that. So it is, remember, it's 1 inch by 12. So I'm going to cut a piece of this DSP, 1 inch by 12. You can use whatever DSP that you want. I only need 2 pieces of it. And again, I can use the regular glue, and I'm just going to follow it along and lay it on top. Because what's going to happen is if I leave this white, you will see that through the slats. And I don't want that. So I'm just going to line it up and follow it along. So there we go. Repeat it on this side. Line it up. Carefully take your time laying this down. That's a little bit off, but that's okay. So now I have the colors on there. Now when I lay these on, you won't see the white in between. It won't be so prominent. Right? I hope you're all there. Ooh, my comments are not coming through, so I have no clue. Before I glue this down, the easiest thing to do for all of these is to work with this piece of paper. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut from the bottom up. Because if we cut from the top, well, all we're going to get is blue. And we don't want that. We want as much of the daisies as possible. So we're going to cut from the bottom. And remember, it's 6 by 3, and that's exactly the size we want to cut, is 6 by 3. So let's start from the bottom of the DSP, which has the most daisies. I'm going to put this in, and I'm going to cut 3 inches. Take this side, slide it down. So you see there's still lots of daisies in here. Cut. And there's a couple of daisies and a little bit of blue. I wanted to get as much daisies as possible. So 3. So that is 3 by 6. All right. So we got these 3. This one we don't need, so let's put that aside. So there's 1. And then we're going to put number 2. And then number 3. Don't mix them up because you want them to flow, just like there's a little gap in between, all right? So that they fit all on those papers, so I'm going to glue them down. Okay, line it up along the edge. And bring it across. Again, line it up along the edge. And bring it across. One more. Cross. There we go. So we have all 3. So they're all in the order. So if I stuck those daisies all back together, see, they would all match. Okay. We're going to start with the top one. Remember the one at the very top. What we're going to do is now we are going to build our little ladder. So it is going to be, I'm going to glue it right along the edge. You can use tear and tape. I like Seal Plus actually. So I'm going to do that. Now remember, when you're gluing, don't glue past the 1-inch mark, okay? You want to keep it close to the edge because otherwise what's going to happen is it's going to overhang and be sticky on the back, right? So I'm going to take this one and I'm going to get it even. There we go. So that is our first part of the ladder. Okay, so it's even. There we go. And I'm going to do the same for the second piece. Yep. Fold that over a little bit. Oh, there we go. Whoop. Oh no, I gotta force that guy back over. Okay, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave 1 finger in between and lay it down. Okay, so it's 1 finger in between. Again, going to move it down. Again, 1 finger in between. And line it up. Now I need to push in the little ribs a little bit so that they will kind of form in. Now you'll notice on the bottom there's still a little bit here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of cardstock and we're going to do like branch it across. But to make it thick, we're going to go back to that piece, right? And what we want to do is actually make a backing. So I'm going to do it at about 1.5 inches by 6. Right, so that it's the backing right there. That is not my piece of cardstock white because I am going to stamp a sentiment. Actually, if I wanted that thinner, I could cut it down to 1 inch. But what I'm going to do is leave it for now at 1.5. I'm going to get my cardstock. See, there's my cardstock, and I'm going to stamp a sentiment on this. I'm going to cut this down, piece of cardstock down to 6 inches by 1.5. It's easier if it's a little larger to cut down. Because if it's too small, you can't make it bigger. But it's easier to make it smaller. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I want to pick up the colors in here. Now that's copper clay, but I'm going to use Cajun Craze. And what I want to do is I want to place a sentiment on here. Now, the Cheerful Daisies does not have any sentiment that I want to use on this. I'm going to have to go to a completely different stamp set, so I do apologize about that. I'm going to go with an old stamp set that I have. It's called Create with Friends, and I love this, and I kept this for the reason is I like the one right down here that says Create, and it is an older stamp set. It is, I don't think it's active anymore, but that's the word I want to use. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay it down, and I want it off to the right side. The reason I want it on to the right side of this cardstock is so that I can add a flower on the left. Okay, so I'm going to ink it up. Now I'm going to make it a little, I'm going to bring it down to the bottom. You can place it in the middle if you want, but I have a feeling I'm going to be cutting this down. So I'm going to stamp it on the bottom. Okay. So even though it's all this space up here, I can cut that down. So for me, I want to cut that down. For you, maybe you want to leave it as large as it is. It's up to you. So I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. And it is at, let's see, 1 inch. There we go. I'm going to cut it at 1 inch, which means I need to cut the backing at 1 inch also. So bring that back in, cut it at 1 inch. Just like we did, excuse me, all the other pieces, I'm going to place these two together. Oop, I'll cut that off. And I'm going to glue it. That will strengthen that piece of cardstock. Okay, lay it together. It's a little bit long, so let's just snip, snip. Just snip off the edge. And see, I can lay it on the bottom. Can you see this? I can lay it on the bottom. And it fits right across the very bottom. So I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive to the right. I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive to the left. Okay, so that it sticks together. Oh, I think I need a little glue dot under there. I don't think I went far enough down with the glue. Okay. Oops. There we go. There we go. Okay. Now, you can either just leave it the way it is totally up to you, or you can dice cut some flowers if you want and lay them in. Like here, I did the Cajun Craze. I did some flowers, and I did a couple of different layers of it, so there's quite a few. And I tried to pick up on the Cajun Craze for the backing, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that, the backings of the flowers, the back parts, and I am going to die cut those out. Again, I'm going to use the Post-it notes to hold it down. Right, so I can go through the die cut machine. And I also need to die cut one of these pieces of the flowers. So I did not do that ahead of time like I told all of you to do. bad me. Okay, so I'm going to die cut that, and I'm going to die cut the shadow part. In all of your die cutting, you should have the top parts, you know, this little piece here that creates that. Okay, you should have that. So I'm going to quickly die cut these. Now I'll leave that here so that you can take a look. All right, there we go. I have this die cut out now. And I'm going to poke this out. Now, whenever you look at the dies, you'll notice that sometimes there's little holes in the spots where there shouldn't be. Those are called release holes. And that helps kind of push on the edge to help you pop out the paper from the die. So you want to press on those release holes so that you can get your pick tool underneath. Okay, so you can kind of get it underneath and slide it along. Right? Come on. I don't want to rip any of those little pieces. So just kind of keep working it. And just follow with your point of your pick tool under the die. Now again, I don't want to rip that flower. Push through with the pick tool and gently pull it up. Okay, so there we go. Again, here is the coordinating backings. Okay, and I'm going to pop out these centers. I think maybe this time I'm just going to leave the leaves. Maybe I should just leave the leaves the way they are. I'm just going to leave them the way they are. Pop out some of the centers. I hope you enjoyed what this project is. I had thought about it, and I actually made another one for my trailer. And I got some Mac Tack that you can use. What are those, like whiteboard markers? So the Mac Tack is clear. I don't know if you can get it at Home Depot or Michael's or whatever. And then you just add it on top and you can use it as a whiteboard. Quite cool. I have that in the trailer so I can leave messages like, please pick up some bacon. All right, so again, I'm going to offset the flower with some adhesive dots. Again, building the flower, you should be an expert by now, building the flowers. Okay. So this is why you wanted to die cut all of these flowers ahead of time, so that you're not doing it at the last minute like me. Okay. Add them all on. Again, let's get those flowers kind of... The reason I chose this, the darker color underneath, is so that it will stand out a little bit. And no, it is not perfectly on there, but I kind of like the shadow of it. So that's why it is not perfect. Whoops, that's a little off. There we go. Okay. Again, we're going to add these pieces on top. Now you can use some blending brushes if you want to add some more color to it. Okay. We're going to add that on there. want to make sure that I have enough all the way around. Oops. Oh, it's stuck to me. Again. Which way does it go? Ah, it looks good that way. And we're going to get the other one. Got it in my pile of stuff here. Get the glue dot on there. I wanted to do something a little different than a card. I wanted to give you the opportunity to try something different. And the last one, oops, I should have separated these suckers. I could find them better. And this last one on here, on like that. Now, when you glue these flowers down, just be very careful that you glue it to the spots. So I want to, actually I'm going to cut that little piece off. Don't want that leaf. Sorry, so sad. Okay, now you can just add the flower down. Just make sure you glue exactly where it's going to hit on the pieces that cross over. Okay, I think maybe I'll do that. Do I have a little bit of, you know what? I got a little bit of this left over from card number 1. I think maybe I'll just use that. I also have, okay, this little piece that I can kind of use behind it for leaves. Actually, that's what I'm going to do. I had die cut this for the first card, and I thought, oh, that'll make pretty good leaves. So let's add that behind. Okay. And so how does that, oops, how does that sit? Where am I going to put this guy? That. I'm going to have him go up here. Okay. I'm going to glue that down. Can you see it? I hope you can see it. Glue that down, because remember, that's going to hit the top there, right? And this little piece, I'm going to add to that. So those look like some pretty cool, like it's the center there, but I thought that's kind of cool for some little leaves. Let's add that. Now, I'm going to use my dimensionals and place them on the exact spots where it's going to hit. On each spot. Okay, so I know it's going to be there. This flower is going to be on there. And I'll go like that. There we go. Pretty simple. You can add some Wink of Stella. Why not? Oh, this one's a really good Wink of Stella. There we go. Now, if you had, like I was talking about the one in the trailer, you can add like little pieces of white to make like a little notepad. Or you can find a little white Post-it note, and then you can go have a little Post-it for a message. Please bring me bacon. Okay. And that's a different idea of what to do. So I thought that was kind of cool. I think it's just pretty in itself, and it should hang very nicely. All right. Right. Okay, there we go. What do you think of that? I wanted to try something a little different. I really love these daisies here in this DSP. I thought it really needed to be showcased by itself. Okay, so I wanted to do a little bit different. So this is the project for card number 4. And what we're going to do, my goodness, we are just zipping ahead. What I'm going to do is I have some games already loaded. Once this video is finished, reload the page and you will see all of the games. I will be placing your names in for the prize bucket. And what we're going to do is let's continue on. It is 1 o'clock. So let's come back at 2 p.m. Oh, hey, let's do this. Come back at 2 p.m. and we will do our next card. And that will be starting with our one sheet wonder. So according to the schedule, it's listed for 3, but come back for 2 p.m. and we will get started on that. All right. Let me know what you think of this project. And I'd love to see a picture of how yours turned out. Okay. So until then, take care.